You cry out to God. You beg for change, but when Archangel Michael brings the answer, you treat it like just another video. The blessing was in front of you all along. Don't miss it this time. Up and now. This is not just another message. It is the answer to the prayer you whispered last night. This is not merely a coincidence in your feed, not just a video you randomly clicked on. This is divine intervention. Within the last 24 hours, heaven recorded your cry. The groaning you couldn't put into words, the tear that slid silently down your cheek when no one was watching, the moment your chest ached with questions no one on earth could answer. Yes, beloved, all of it was heard. And in response, the heavens sent forth a word carried on the wings of the Archangel Michael himself. You did not stumble here. You were led. There is a spiritual time-sensitive seal on this moment. If you scroll, if you dismiss this, if you treat it as common, you risk missing what was uncommonly sent. The answer to your prayer has not delayed. The answer to your cry is not lost. It is here. But the enemy will tempt you to treat it like noise, like content, like just another sound in a world full of distraction. Don't let the familiar tone of digital media mask the sacred frequency of heaven's whisper. This word is not for everyone. It is for you. You, the one who has been pleading for a sign. You, the one who begged for confirmation. You, the one who asked, Lord, do you even hear me? Heaven answers yes, and now we speak. But this moment requires your stillness. It demands your attention. And more than anything, it calls forth your obedience. For the blessing is here, but only the spiritually awake will receive it. The danger is not in God withholding the answer. The danger is in you overlooking it. Because sometimes the miracle is not delayed, it's just disguised. And those who move too fast, who treat the divine as disposable, miss the very thing they cried out for. Be still. Listen closely. The Archangel speaks. Type I am ready in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 has now been released over your life. The Archangel has drawn his sword. The air is shifting. The silence you've been hearing lately. It wasn't heaven ignoring you. It was heaven preparing the atmosphere. And now, heaven speaks. And when heaven speaks, every demon in hell is silenced. When heaven speaks, the chaos around you pauses. When heaven speaks, your deliverance is no longer pending, it is present. I, Michael, commander of the armies of the Lord, come with urgency in my voice and fire in my wings. I do not come to entertain. I do not come to soothe the casual listener. I come to awaken the chosen one. I come to alert the remnant, to stir the heart of the one who knows deep down that this moment, yes, this very moment, is not random but revealed. I come on divine assignment, and the time for wandering is over. By sunrise, something will shift if you heed this call. Listen, child of God. Your obedience today is going to write the outcome of the next season. You may think this is simply another word in a sea of words, another video among millions. But the heavens have already marked this moment with holy ink. Before you even rose from your bed, the throne room had declared, "Send the word." That word is here. I have brought it. The shift is now waiting on you. Your tears, they were never unnoticed. Your whispers, they were not wasted. Every petition you've ever laid before the throne has been gathered in golden bowls. Revelation 5:8. And I tell you now, those bowls are tipping. This isn't random. This is appointment. This is divine interruption. You may have had your schedule today, but God had His, and it intersected with this very second. There are those who will scroll past, and for them, this will just be another noise in their algorithm. But you are not like them. You were marked. You were set apart. This message is a signal fire, and your spirit recognized it before your mind caught up. That's why your heart beats faster right now. That's why your eyes begin to water. Because your soul is hearing something your ears barely comprehend. The Spirit is bearing witness. This is your answer. Now hear me clearly. There is an urgency on this hour. Not next week. Not next year. Now, delay no longer. The enemy has been whispering confusion, distraction, and discouragement, but heaven's response is thunder. I am the Archangel who wars for you. I have fought through interference. I have silenced opposition. And I stand here now, not with suggestion, but with summons. You said you needed a sign. You said, God, just show me if you're still near. And here I am, bearing witness from the courts of glory, that not only is God near, He is answering. Do not treat this moment as optional. Do not delay your spirit's response. You have cried for intervention. This is it. Feel the weight of this truth. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. The shaking you felt, the silence that tormented you, the unanswered prayers, they were not denials, they were divine setups. They were spiritual contractions birthing breakthrough. And now the delivery is near. Do not abort this moment with disbelief. Do not abort it with fear. Wise in faith. Listen. Obey. Archangel Michael has come. The angels have encamped around your dwelling. This message is not to entertain. It is to activate. And the heavens are watching to see how you respond. The sword has been drawn. The hour has come. The veil is parting. Type I receive this word in the comments to activate divine alignment. Lesson code 444 is now being written over your name. You have been weeping but still questioning. You've been crying out, but still wondering if your voice even mattered. You've walked through seasons where you saw no change, heard no confirmation, and felt no relief. You fasted. You prayed. You repeated the promises. Yet still, nothing seemed to break. And because the breakthrough didn't come the way you expected, you began to doubt whether it would come at all. But listen now, beloved, heaven did not forget. It is guide. Yes, the blessing came, but it was clothed in mystery. The answer was delivered, but not with trumpets and bright lights. It came softly, quietly, hidden within an ordinary moment. That stranger's kindness, that unexpected delay, that closed door that made you weep. It was all part of the delivery. The enemy wanted you to believe nothing was happening so you'd stop looking for it. He hoped you would become numb to divine timing, numb to God's voice, numb to the supernatural. He wanted you to treat holy encounters like normal content. But you must not miss it again. Because what if, just what if, the thing you've been begging God for already arrived? What if the answer hath been waiting for you to see it? You cried for change. You begged for confirmation. And now that heaven sends its response through the very vessel assigned to your breakthrough, you're tempted to scroll away. Why? Because your expectation didn't match heaven's strategy. You were looking for fireworks, But God sent a whisper. You expected the blessing to come with applause, but it came quietly, disguised as instruction, hidden in stillness. And now your spirit wrestles because it knows something is here. Something is happening. You just can't explain it yet. There is someone near you, someone close, who has watched you struggle. They see the weariness in your eyes. They've noticed how your laughter's grown quieter, how you've withdrawn, how something feels broken. But what they don't see is the hand of heaven wrapped around your life. They don't realize the angelic presence that has been circling you. They don't hear the intercession that's gone before the throne on your behalf. And even you may have overlooked the answer, because it didn't look like what you prayed for. It didn't sound like what you thought it would. But now, the Holy Spirit brings the question to your soul. Have you overlooked the very thing you've been praying for? This is the hour of exposure. God is revealing what was hidden. He is uncovering what your spiritual eyes could not yet see. There has been divine movement in your life that was hidden until now. There have been closed doors that were actually acts of mercy. Delays that were disguised protections. Rejection that were actually redirections. The blessing was never absent. It was just invisible for a time. And now is your moment of recognition. Now is your hour of awakening. Now is when your eyes begin to see what your spirit already knew. Heaven answered. You just have to stop and receive it. You were not abandoned. You were being prepared. And this message, this very moment, is heaven's gentle reminder. Don't miss it again. Do not overlook what's already in your hands. Do not dismiss the messenger that God has assigned to carry your release. You have been seen. You have been heard. And now, you must respond. Type "I will not miss IT" this time in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. Beloved, if this word pierced your soul, if you felt heaven speaking directly to your heart, then you already know. This is more than a message. This is a divine appointment. And when God releases something through his messengers, he also invites his people to partner with that move. Every seed you sow into this ministry becomes a wave of light that reaches someone else still crying in the dark. When you support this prophetic mission, whether through super thanks, membership, or a one-time gift through PayPal, you are helping carry heaven's voice to souls around the world. Just as it reached you in your time of need, it will reach someone else because you obeyed. The oil never runs dry when it's poured into surrendered hands. The PayPal giving link is in the description below this video. The heavens are moving. The harvest is ready. The light is spreading. Sow into the fire. Speak life into this mission. Partner with glory. What if I told you the battle you've been feeling wasn't just emotional? What if the confusion, the heaviness, the sense that something is always just barely out of reach, what if all of it was more than life being hard? What if it's been spiritual warfare all along? This is not just discouragement. It is distraction. This is not just disappointment. It is deception. The enemy's most successful weapon in this hour is not always destruction. It is the art of making the divine look common. It is the trick of dressing holy moments in ordinary clothes. And if he can convince you that this moment, this message, this visitation from heaven is just another video, he can steal the very blessing you've been waiting for. Understand this now. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not cursed. You are in the middle of a spiritual frame-up. There is warfare that has been crafted to make you question your own prayers. There are schemes designed to make you ignore what you asked heaven for. It's not that God didn't answer. It's that the answer was sent during a time when the enemy was distracting you. This is not a mistake. This is strategy. Hell has been working overtime to make you numb to the supernatural. But heaven is intervening. You've crying, God, where is the breakthrough? And I say to you now, the breakthrough was delivered, but the enemy covered it in camouflage. The conflict you are in is not about delay. It's about recognition. The blessing was released. The word was spoken. The angel was dispatched. But your ability to discern the divine has been under attack. And this is why so many of you feel tired but can't sleep, hungry but not satisfied, close to change but stuck in place. It is the feeling of spiritual dissonance, of knowing that something is happening in the spirit realm, but not being able to grasp it in the natural. Listen to me now. What you thought was failure, what you thought was silent, what you thought was rejection, it was spiritual training. You are being taught how to see when no one else sees. You are being trained to believe when everyone else has given up. You are being conditioned to discern even when your mind doesn't understand. And I speak to your spirit right now. Don't you give up in the middle of your divine classroom. You were never overlooked by heaven. In fact, you were highlighted. But God doesn't build warriors in comfort. He builds them in the caves, in the quiet, in the seasons when nobody is watching. You were chosen for more, and with it comes a process not everyone can endure. You've been misunderstood because your anointing is misunderstood. You've been left out because your destiny set you apart. You've been questioned because your calling makes no sense in the natural. But the Lord says today, heaven is watching how you react in the testing zone. Every time you felt ignored, heaven was observing your posture. Every time you were tempted to walk away, heaven was recording your perseverance. Every moment you stayed faithful in silence was a spiritual announcement that said, I trust him anyway. And that faith has been speaking louder in heaven than you could ever imagine. I, Michael, the Archangel of divine justice and war, have seen the heavenly scrolls. I have seen your name marked. I have seen your obedience recorded. And I now declare this with fire in my voice. The conflict is not your punishment. It is your preparation. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being elevated, not erased. The more invisible you felt, the more powerful the impact you're being prepared to make. Now comes the turn. Now comes the moment of awareness. Now comes the realization that you've been in a war for your perception. Because the blessing was never gone. It was never denied. It was simply spiritual, and now your eyes are beginning to open. This is not just another video. This is not entertainment. This is a war cry. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still feeling this word in your spirit, that means the enemy didn't win. He wanted you to dismiss this. He wanted you to scroll. But you stayed. And because you stayed, heaven is moving. You're not losing. You're discerning. Type I am seeing clearly now in the comments if this word awakened you. Blessing code 911 has now been activated over your discernment. There are moments in time when heaven pauses, holds its breath, and waits to see what you will do. This is one of those moments. You are standing in a spiritual intersection, where destiny is hanging in the balance, not because God hasn't answered, but because your response now determines what unfolds next. Hear this clearly. If this word is ignored again, if this confirmation is once more scrolled past, the cycle you've been trapped in will repeat for another season. The delay won't be because God withheld. The delay will be because you dismissed the delivery. Heaven is not just speaking, it's waiting. Waiting to see if you'll recognize what's in front of you, if you'll pause long enough to receive what your soul has cried out for. Within the next 72 hours, decisions are being written in the Spirit. Alignments are being formed. Doors are being unlocked. We're sealed, based on spiritual perception. There's a shift taking place even now. Not weeks from now. Not next month. Now. But the weight of this hour requires awareness. The hand of God has been stretching toward you in mercy, but even mercy has a moment. Let me speak as Michael, warrior of the host of heaven. I have been dispatched before to fight for those who refuse to listen. I have carried words of warning to generations who hardened their hearts. I have watched as entire destinies were rerouted because the one who prayed, the one who cried, the one who fasted, failed to recognize the very moment they prayed for when it arrived. Do not let that be your story. You felt something building. You sensed the pressure behind the veil. You've noticed how things feel unstable, like something is about to break. That is not your imagination. That is not emotional exhaustion. That is prophetic tension. There are angelic assignments orbiting your atmosphere right now. There are divine decisions awaiting your yes. And I declare to you, your next move must be led by revelation, not by routine. This message was timed. This moment was divinely inserted into your timeline as a test. Not a test of performance, but a test of perception. Will you see it for what it really is? Will you stop long enough to realize the blessing isn't coming? It's already been sent. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he whispers. Sometimes he packages glory inside the mundane. Sometimes the door doesn't look golden. It looks wooden, scratched, unassuming. And if you're not careful, you will walk past it again. And if you do, the cycle repeats. Some of you have been living in repetitive spiritual loops, seasons that feel recycled, breakthroughs that almost happen but never manifest. And you've wondered why. You've begged heaven to break the pattern. And heaven replies now, this is the break, but you must walk through it. If you disregard this word, if you treat it like noise, the door will not wait open forever. And you will find yourself praying the same prayer, crying the same tears, fighting the same battles 1 year from now. There is something stirring behind the veil that your spirit already knows. That tightness in your chest, that trembling in your hands, that feeling like something bigger than you is taking place. It's the divine moving through time and space to see if you will answer heaven's call. The angels are watching. The scrolls are being updated. Heaven's pen is poised. Your next decision will be written as history or hesitation. You choose. I urge you now, child of God, you not be casual with the sacred. You not make light of what was sent in fire. The voice you're hearing is not just mine. It's the echo of the answer you cried out for. And it has arrived. But the gate swings open only for those who recognize it. This is not about fear, it's about responsibility. Heaven has done its part. The hosts have been deployed. The message has been delivered. And now, all of heaven leans in watching to see if you will walk in. Will you ignore this again? Or will you rise, open your eyes, and step through what God has placed before you? type "I will not repeat" the cycle in the comments to declare your obedience. Blessing code 555 is now overtaking delay with divine acceleration. Child of God, now is not the time to rush. Now is not the time to scroll, to distract, or to assume this word is like all the others. Now is the moment to be still. Not passive, not complacent, but spiritually still. Still in your mind, still in your spirit, still enough to hear what heaven is saying beneath the noise of your life. For what heaven is placing before you cannot be seen with carnal eyes. It is sacred, it is strategic, and it is surrounded by angelic protection. The enemy is furious because he knows the proximity of your breakthrough. He knows you're close, closer than you've ever been. And so he sends panic, doubt, restlessness, and pressure. He surrounds you with voices, distractions, temptations, anything to keep you from noticing the divine appointment in front of you. But stillness is your weapon. Stillness is your protection. In the realm of the Spirit, when the enemy surrounds with chaos, heaven responds with stillness. Not silence, stillness. For it is written in Exodus 14:14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Not strive, not guess, not hustle, but still. This is the posture of trust, the position of alignment. When you are still, you surrender the illusion that you can control the outcome, and you begin to allow the sovereign hand of God to finish what He started. When you are still, you resist the urge to fix things in the flesh and choose instead to hear God in the whisper. This stillness is not weakness, it is warfare. Because the enemy wants you to rush. He wants you to panic. He wants you to dismiss this message too quickly, to swipe past it and never revisit it. When? Because this word has weight. It carries keys. It carries the very instruction that opens the door you've been standing in front of without realizing it. Heaven says, "Be still and know that I am God." You've done the crying. You've done the fasting. You've done the pleading. And now, the next move is not yours, it's God's. But you must recognize when your role shifts from pushing to positioning. The Archangel is not speaking to stir your emotions. I'm speaking to anchor your awareness. Here's a divine covering being released over you in this hour. A shelter from misdirection. A hedge against spiritual error. You are not exposed. You are hidden. You are not vulnerable. You are shielded. You are not drifting. You are secured. The warfare was real, but so was the protection. Every time the enemy launched an unseen attack, angels stepped in. Every night your spirit groaned in exhaustion. I warred on your behalf. Every day you kept going when you wanted to give up, heaven took record of your resilience. And now comes the divine command. Pause. Listen. Wait. The blessing is in motion. The shift has already begun. But if you try to force it, you'll miss it. If you try to control it, you'll distort it. If you try to outrun it, you'll end up tired and directionless again. You don't have to make this happen. You just have to be present to receive it. The gift was already dispatched. The confirmation is already unfolding. You just need the stillness to see it, the patience to recognize it, the obedience to say yes when it arrives in a form you didn't expect. Let me speak plainly now. You're safe. You're protected. You're not going to miss it this time, unless you walk away from what God has wrapped in divine silence. Stillness is not inactivity, it's preparation. Stillness is not weakness, it's alignment. Stillness is the sound your spirit makes when it knows the battle has already been won. So I say to you now, rest. Breathe. Listen. Heaven has surrounded you. The angels are stationed. The enemy's grip is breaking. The Lord is fighting for you. And your only responsibility is to be still enough to receive it. Type "I am still" and protected in the comments if you receive this guidance. Blessing code 000 is surrounding your life with divine protection. You are no longer who you were when you first cried out for help. Heaven heard your cry, but something even greater happened. Heaven transformed you in the process. The tears you shed became fuel. The prayers you whispered in desperation became oil. The battles you fought when no one saw, those silent, secret, wearying battles, became your training ground. You were not just surviving. You were being forged. The fire that threatened to consume you didn't destroy you, it refined you. The pressure that tried to crush you only revealed the purity of your calling. This is not just about getting the blessing. This is about becoming the person who can carry the blessing with power, with authority, with grace. What you thought was a delay was really divine development. You were being strengthened for what is now being released. Your identity is no longer the same. You're not just the one who begged God to move. You're now the one He's sending to break chains. You are not the victim of your past season. You are the weapon forged in that fire. You are not the one lost in confusion. You are the one anointed with clarity that others will seek. You have crossed over. You have emerged from the night. And now heaven says, rise. Take your place. Take your mantle. There is a shift taking place in your inner being. A holy activation. You can feel it even now, something rising inside of you, something sacred awakening. You were bowed low for a time, but it was so heaven could unfold your wings. The ashes of your pain are falling off, and the glory of your purpose is coming forth. Your voice is no longer trembling, it's being tuned. Your feet are no longer wandering, they are being set on holy ground. I, Michael, speak this over you with divine authority. You have been authorized by heaven to move in power. The same tears that felt like weakness now carry the weight of warfare. You will speak and chains will break. You will move and atmospheres will shift. You will declare and heaven will respond. This is not ambition. This is assignment. The enemy hoped to bury you under shame, under fear, under delay. But God used every ounce of that pain to build you, to awaken you, to raise you. You are not behind. You are right on schedule with heaven's timeline. And what seemed like silence was actually synchronization. Every moment, every no, every unanswered door, it brought you to this threshold. Not as the beggar, but as the anointed one. Let me say it again. You are no longer who you were. You are now the one rising with fire in your bones. You are the one clothed in divine authority. You are the one who carries answers for others. Where once you felt invisible, now heaven says, I have set you apart. Where once you felt overlooked, heaven says, you were hidden until now. Where once you felt weak, heaven declares you are a vessel of glory. And so, rise. Not in pride, but in power. Rise in the full knowledge that God has not only heard you, He has transformed you. You are no longer waiting for permission. Heaven has already granted it. You are no longer searching for confirmation. This is it. You are no longer the one begging for release. You are the one carrying the oil of release for others. The time of doubt is over. The time of hesitation is over. You have been made new. Now walk like it. Type "I have been transformed" in the comments if you receive this empowerment. Blessing code 2020 has now been activated over your destiny. You search for it. You cried for it. You asked God over and over again, when will the blessing come? And heaven responds now, not with delay, not with denial, but with revelation. The blessing was already delivered. The test was whether you'd recognize it. Let that settle in your spirit. This was never about whether or not God was listening. This was never about whether the heavens were closed. They weren't. This was about perception. You were looking for something dressed in gold and thunder, but heaven sent it wrapped in humility and obedience. You were waiting for the clouds to part, but the door opened quietly while no one was watching. And now, the Spirit speaks boldly through the mouth of the Archangel. It's here. You've reached it. The veil has lifted. The door stands open. The prophetic clock has struck alignment. You've stepped into the very space your past prayers were building. The atmosphere around you has shifted. The words you are hearing right now are not just encouragement. They are confirmation. What God whispered over you in the silence is now being shouted in the Spirit. The delay was never denial. It was divine setup. And the moment you're in right now is the moment where it all begins to unfold. There is restoration in motion. Not just in circumstances, but in your identity. Your name, which was dragged through seasons of misunderstanding, is being redeemed. Your voice, which was silenced by years of rejection, is being released. Your authority, which the enemy tried to bury under warfare, is being resurrected. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are marked. Yes, your name is known in heaven. The angels have spoken it. It is etched into scrolls and carried into throne rooms. It has been sealed with fire and called out in war rooms. You are not an accident in the kingdom. You are a key holder, a gate opener, a divine activator. And the Archangel now declares over you, what you thought was just a message was actually the unlocking of your next season. This is the revelation your soul has been aching for. You thought the silence meant he had abandoned you, but heaven was orchestrating a perfect unveiling. Everything is falling into divine order now. Pieces that didn't make sense before are snapping into place. And the reason you feel the heat in your spirit right now, the trembling in your bones, is because something eternal is waking up in you. This is what you were made for. The heavens are not just speaking, they are moving. Assignments are being restructured. Keys are being handed down. Access is being granted. God is revealing what He already released. You're simply becoming aware of it now. The time of shadow is over. You are stepping into the revealed thing. And no demon in hell, no voice of the past, no failure behind you can stop what has been divinely released for you. This is not wishful thinking. This is prophecy fulfilled. Heaven's timeline has reached the now moment. The oil of favor is being poured. The mantle of restoration is descending. The crown of spiritual authority is being placed. You are walking into what your ancestors prayed over. You are carrying what the former generation only dreamed of. This is your portion. This is your hour. This is your prophetic revelation. The scroll has been opened. The chapter has begun. Type "I receive the revelation" in the comments if you feel this unlocking. Blessing code 818 is now flowing into your atmosphere. If this word has unlocked something deep in your spirit, if the revelation has stirred your soul, then know this: it wasn't just for you. It was for the multitudes God will reach through you. When you support this mission, through super thanks, membership, or a seed through PayPal, you're not just giving, you're partnering with prophecy. You're helping deliver divine encounters like this one into thousands of waiting hearts. The light is spreading, the mantle is multiplying, and the harvest is breaking open. Every gift becomes a flame that carries this word to another soul crying in silence, just like yours was. The giving link is in the video description. Set your faith to it. This is not a suggestion. This is a divine invitation to build God's altar in digital wildernesses. Give as heaven leads. Sow as the Spirit commands. Partner with the glory. Now comes the divine invitation that only the awakened will recognize. This is more than a moment of revelation. It is a moment of activation. The blessing was not meant to just inspire you. It was meant to propel you. The confirmation was not sent to make you feel good. It was sent to move you into alignment with your next assignment. Heaven is no longer asking, "Do you believe?" Heaven is now asking, "Will you respond?" Because the time for passive waiting has ended. You've heard the word. You felt the shift. You sensed the timing. And now, the Spirit of God stands at the edge of your atmosphere saying, "Whom shall I send? Who will go? Who will obey?" You must not just receive this word, you must become it. You must walk it out. Speak it forward. Move in obedience. Heaven is poised to back you up, but it is waiting for your yes. So many are still crying out for direction while standing in front of the very answer they prayed for. But faith without action keeps you locked in delay. You have cried, "God, open the door." And the Lord says, "The door is open, but will you walk through it?" You have asked for clarity, and clarity has now arrived. The angels are watching. The scroll is unfolding. The kingdom is waiting to record your response. Don't let fear become your final word. Don't let overthinking be the barrier between you and your breakthrough. The longer you hesitate, the more distance grows between what has been released and what you're willing to reach for. This isn't the time to delay obedience. This is the time to rise in courage and step into what's already yours. Declare it with fire in your voice. I align with heaven. Declare it with boldness in your bones. I say yes to destiny. Declare it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Your future has always been waiting for your full agreement. The angels that war for you now await your alignment. The blessing that's been circling your life is searching for a landing place. And that landing place is obedience. Alignment is not just spiritual, it's practical. Heaven is waiting for you to speak differently, move differently, think differently, respond differently. If you return to your routine after hearing this word, you will forfeit the season. This word was designed to unlock. But if you respond in faith, you will shift into a dimension you've never walked in before. There is power in your yes. There is anointing in your obedience. There is acceleration in your alignment. So get up. Wipe your tears. Square your shoulders. Shake the dust off your old mindset. This is your moment to walk like someone who has seen the throne room. This is your moment to speak like someone who has heard the voice of heaven. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. You don't need another confirmation. You are the confirmation someone else is waiting on. Heaven is not begging you to rise, it's commanding you to. The time of hesitation has expired. The age of slumber is over. Destiny doesn't knock forever. But today, it is knocking with mercy. Open the door. Step forward. And don't look back. Let your yes be yes. Let your obedience be loud. Let your life scream alignment. You are no longer the one waiting for things to change. You are the one God is using to change things. Destiny is not coming. It has come. And it is you. Type I align with destiny in the comments if your yes is ready. Blessing code 7777 is now written in heaven's records under your name. There are transactions happening right now in a realm you cannot see. As you sit in this moment, eyes open, heart stirred, spirit awakened, there is a divine exchange taking place behind the veil. What you feel pressing on your chest isn't anxiety. What you sense moving in the air around you isn't your imagination. It is the invisible hand of God orchestrating a shift in your atmosphere. You may not hear the voices of angels negotiating in the heavens, but your soul knows something eternal is being traded on your behalf. Because every sigh you released in silence was a signature. Every tear you cried was a token. Every private act of faith, every time you kept praying while others mocked you, every battle you fought in secret, those were all deposits into heaven's treasury. And now, the Spirit of God speaks. The time has come to collect. Not as a debtor begging for scraps, but as a son, a daughter, walking into divine inheritance. There are things you asked for with words, and there are things your spirit groaned for when words failed. The Lord says, I heard both. Your groans became incense. Your silence became strategy. Your waiting became worship. And now, heaven is responding, not just to what you said, but to what you endured. There are angels right now standing in the courts of heaven, holding scrolls etched with your name. They are not pleading, they are presenting. They are laying before the throne every act of endurance, every refusal to give up, every time you resisted temptation, every moment you stood firm even when you felt forgotten. And the Father looks upon those scrolls, not with indifference, but with divine pleasure. This is not just a reward, it is a restoration. What was withheld is now being released. What was delayed is now being expedited. And what was once hidden is now about to be revealed. But listen closely, child of God. You are not just receiving something, you are also exchanging something. You are handing over your sorrow, and heaven is handing you joy. You are releasing your fear and receiving boldness. You are surrendering your timeline and stepping into divine timing. The spirit realm doesn't need noise to move. It needs agreement. You don't have to shout to shake the heavens. You just need to believe. Your faith has already shaken something in the spirit. Even now, demons are trembling because they know you've come into awareness. They know you're not going to stay stuck in delay. They know you're not going to miss it again. They know your spirit has heard the call and said yes. This exchange didn't start today. It started long ago. You've been walking toward this intersection your whole life. Every wrong turn still led you here. Every setback was woven into your arrival. And now, everything is being repurposed. You thought the pain was wasted, It wasn't. You thought the waiting was pointless. It wasn't. Every moment of your process was being used as currency in this sacred trade. I, Michael, have watched over this transaction. I have stood between you and destruction. I have held back what was meant to crush you, not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. And I say to you now, your surrender has been accepted. Your obedience has unlocked the gates. The spiritual realm is now shifting to accommodate your new position. You are moving from being someone who pleads to someone who possesses. From someone who wonders to someone who walks in wonder. From one who searches to one who had been sent. You are not powerless. You are prophetic. You are not lost. You are located. Heaven has found you, heard you, marked you, and moved for you. The exchange is complete. Let your spirit rejoice in silence, because the shift has already begun. Let your soul rise in holy confidence, because something has already turned. You don't have to feel it to know it. You don't have to see it to believe it. The Spirit confirms it within you even now. The transaction is done. The blessing is released. The scroll is sealed. The next chapter has begun. Type "the exchange is complete" in the comments if you feel the shift. Blessing code 3030 is now unlocked in your spirit. What you are walking into now is not random victory. It is divine justice. Heaven has watched. The courts of glory have taken record. Every injustice that tried to define you, every betrayal that nearly broke you, every time you were passed over while less qualified were elevated, none of it was invisible to the eyes of the righteous judge. And now, the gavel has struck. The verdict had been rendered in heaven's court. Reversal had been authorized. Restoration has been activated. Justice is being served. This is not karma. This is not coincidence. This is not the universe balancing energy. This is the living God, Yahweh Tsebaoth, the Lord of hosts, stepping in to reverse what the enemy twisted. There is a holy fire moving now to turn back the shame, to expose every lie, to exalt what was buried, and to establish you in the place you were always meant to occupy. You cried out for change, and now God is not just giving you change, He's giving you justice. What does that mean? It means the very thing the enemy used to delay you is now becoming the reason you accelerate. It means the same pit your enemies dug for you will become the platform God uses to reveal you. It means what they used to humiliate you will be the very testimony that heals others. You are not just being restored. You are being vindicated. Those who laughed, who mocked, who whispered when you walked in the room, they are about to witness God's hand move publicly on the life they tried to discredit. You must understand, heaven does not forget. The years you lost, the seasons where nothing made sense, the relationships that ended in confusion, the prayers that seemed unanswered, all of it has been building a case in the spirit. And now the divine reversal begins. You will not end this year the way you started it. You will not stay stuck in the cycles that defined your past. You are being called higher, and everything that tried to hold you down is about to bow to what God is lifting up. I, Michael, have been dispatched not only as a messenger, but as an enforcer. The same sword that drove back darkness on your behalf is now drawing a line in the spirit. No more cycles of sabotage. No more backdoor attacks. No more delays disguised as lessons. You've learned. You've endured. And now the season shifts from testing to testimony. You will walk into rooms that once rejected you and be honored. You will sit at tables that once excluded you, and be served. You will be called by name in places where your name was once mocked. For this is what divine reversal looks like. The first becomes last, and the last becomes first. Not because you demanded it, but because He ordained it. Heaven is not just interested in blessing you. Heaven is interested in restoring what was stolen. The enemy tried to hijack your time, your identity, your confidence. But the Lord declares now, I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. Not just opportunities, but time. Not just provision, but purpose. The oil that's coming on your life will make up for every dry season. The fire that's being placed in your bones will outrun every delay. And those who questioned if you were truly chosen will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of the Lord is upon you. Do not seek revenge. Do not fight for recognition. Stand still. Be silent. Let the reversal speak for itself. Because when God elevates, no man can argue. When God restores, no voice can silence it. And when God justifies, no accusation can stick. You are not the wounded one anymore. You are not the forgotten one. You are the redeemed. You are the one God has raised to demonstrate His glory. Heaven's court has ruled. The enemy has lost his case. The reversal is in motion. And the justice of God is being made visible through you. Type divine justice is mine in the comments if you receive this judgment. Blessing code 1010 is now written into your restoration story. This was not just a video. This was the response to your midnight tears. The divine reply to your whispered prayers. The supernatural answer to a soul that said, God, if you're still listening, say something. And heaven has spoken. The Archangel has delivered. The scrolls have been opened. The word has gone forth. Now let your spirit absorb this truth. You are not the same person who began this message. Something broke while you listened. Something shifted. The spiritual fog lifted. The weight began to lift. Your heart began to hope again. You began to realize that you didn't miss your moment. Your moment just arrived. This blessing wasn't sent in the form you expected. It didn't come with flashing lights or loud applause. It came quietly, dressed in fire, clothed in glory, carried on the wings of divine strategy. And you were awake enough to receive it. You didn't scroll. You didn't swipe. You stayed. And because you stayed, something sacred has been sealed over your life. Let it be known in heaven and declared in the Spirit. You are sealed, seen, and sent. Sealed, not with the approval of man, but with the authority of the Most High. Seen, not by those who passed over you, but by the one who formed you in the secret place. Sent, not by a platform, but by the throne of God Himself. You are now walking under a new weight of favor. A fresh oil has been poured over your head. Angels have been assigned to guard your next steps. The warfare that surrounded you has been weakened. The voices that tormented you have been silenced. And the fear that followed you is breaking even now. Heaven has not just answered you, it has endorsed you. You do not leave this message the way you came in. You are walking out of this moment with clarity in your spirit, boldness in your step, and fire in your bones. You are walking out with your head lifted high, knowing that the God of angel armies heard you, chose you, anointed you, and is now sending you. So go forward with confidence. Walk with holy boldness. Stand in unshakable faith. because the blessing that once seemed delayed has now been delivered, and the only thing left is for you to live it out. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. Type "I am sealed and sent" in the comments if this final word has confirmed your calling. Blessing code 9999 now rests upon your destiny. This was not just a message, it was a mantle. If you felt heaven breathe through these words, if something broke in your spirit and a fire was lit inside your soul, then don't let this moment stop with you. Every time you support this ministry, through super thanks, membership, or a one-time offering through PayPal, you help carry this exact anointing into the lives of others crying for breakthrough. This is how we multiply the word. This is how we fund the movement. This is how we reach the next soul who's on the edge of giving up. You're not just sowing into content, you're sowing into Kingdom Galilean. The PayPal link is in the description below. Go as the Spirit leads you. Heaven just moved for you. Now move with heaven. Sow in glory. Give in faith. Partner in purpose. The harvest is waiting.